Hi, I'm Ashley Emerson with Kentucky Opera. This is my journey to learn about different creatives, artisans, and athletes in Kentucky. Join me as we all compare creative notes and figure out where their art and skill intersect with the art and skill of singing opera. This is Hoops and High Notes.
Do you like bourbon? Do you like opera? Do you like Kentucky? Do you think you might like any of those things? Then you're gonna love this episode of Hoops and High Notes. I am here with Chris Morris, who is the Master Distiller at Woodford Reserve Distillery. Thank you so much for taking time to talk bourbon and your craft and skill with us today.
My pleasure, Ashley. Been looking forward to it.
So what does it take, or what are the requirements to be a master distiller?
At Brown-Forman, we have to have a rigorous education. We have to have great experience in the business. Mm-hmm. We have to have a trained palate, of course, to be able to nose and taste. My development was 28 years before I was promoted to Master Distiller 17 years ago. So it's a rather arduous or long process. Part of my development and career, I spent a few years in our sales force. I had spent some time in marketing, and I've worked in our bottling facilities. I've worked in our barrel cooperage. So again, this well-rounded, this education by doing and observing is, I think, a very important way to learn.
I went to school for singing. I took voice lessons and all of these things, but having the performance experience is an enormous part of the learning and growing process, you know?
We're using the same processes that our ancestors used.
Yeah.
Just like you're singing operas that are hundreds of years of age.
Absolutely.
Now we have some new technology that helps us perfect these processes, just like you now have lighting. You're not conducting an opera with candles
yes.
on the stage. So again, it's the bourbon and opera professions, I think, are very similar in that regard. Just like an individual singer will sing the same opera differently in terms of the tone, the voice, our yeast is that singer. It makes its own unique flavors, even though we're using maybe the same corn, rye, and barley that someone else could be using at another distillery.
I also read that there is perhaps a research distillery.
We have a distillery charter or philosophy that I've written that says Woodford Reserve is the home of innovation, the home of innovative whiskeys. And we do have a micro distillery, a 1/10 scale distillery with our little pot stills, and we can make 1-gallon barrels, and some work and some don't. You perfect your craft, of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a master distiller who is still creating and learning and experimenting every day. You know, I felt like if I ever truly mastered singing, it would stop being fun.
Been very fortunate to have been that the company has allowed us to be innovative and creative and just have a lot of fun. And I think that's the bottom line. You got to enjoy what you're doing.
Oh.
We are having a lot of fun.
I often find myself with voices, singing voices. There is a certain flavor to the sound for me, kind of a silvery tone or a gold tone, or you could, somewhat, oh, this person's voice is so plummy, or this type of thing. It's so interesting how the human voice has such a palette too. Well, I can't thank you enough, Chris. It was really a pleasure to talk to you and learn all about your process. And I hope when y'all open back up, I hope to get to Woodford soon.
I look forward to seeing you there. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Ashley.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Kentucky bourbon and opera have a lot more in common than you probably thought.